do you use that as hero nomad? I feel like Fanny has been season 1 to season 2. Okay,
Yeah.
that was the time when she was viable. I don't know about now, but it is good for high flying. We have, I think we saw it in a rehearsal.
Yeah, we did.
But
So,
the thing about Fanny is that, season 3, they like the hero. You remember Kilo, the fan? Nobody's gonna forget that. The 1v1 against the Claude. Oh my god.
Y'all remember?
That was a match against Brent. That was Coco's Claude. And there was a 1v1 situation in the bottom lane. And it was the Fanny Claude. Kilowatt managed to outplay Claude.
I kind of remember the time during season 1, season 2, where players would, not even just the pros, even everybody else would just use Fanny as a benchmark of mechanical skills, and the game has evolved way beyond mechanical skills for that. But it's fun to see a Fanny versus Gushin game to see who's going to be the mechanical gifted player among these two guys.
Yeah, in those situations, you would usually find teams automatically pick up Cho, right? Or an Akai.
Yeah.
I feel like the Akai this season, I think only got picked up 4 times. I think all of those by Fuzakin from season 5 Champions or season 4. No, sorry, on PH from way back then. So, and it has 100% win rate. I feel like it's such an underrated hero for the most part, although at this point very situational. And way back then, the hero pool, the amount of heroes, the number of heroes are not really that high. I feel like we've been adding heroes every month since then, and we've grown exponentially from where we were before. So I don't know, I kind of want to see some of these plays, some of these older picks, maybe some of them known for these heroes to be picked up once more. And aside from Fanny being picked up obviously by season 1 champions from way before as a highlight reel, I'm looking for other counters to that as well, because you gotta remember, so many crowd control heroes have been added to the game, which stops a lot of that individual finesse coming out from players altogether.
Yeah, you know what's key is that ML was so much easier to study before, way before. I remember a caster coming to me and telling, "Hey, you gotta study Mobile Legends. It only has 20 heroes in meta," and I was like, "What? 20 heroes in the meta?" So I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna start reading up."
12. I think I was there. We said 12.
and fortunately enough, it became easy to study newer heroes, and that's the thing about Mobile Legends. It's actually easy to study, but it's hard to dive in. Okay, it's harder to dive in. So you first started off with many heroes. So I was lucky to be part of that, part of that era. And after that, you just add more heroes. Lil comes out, new hero. Terizla was out. You studied Terizla, but you first started off with an easy foundation. It just built on and built on. So again, we're heading to this age where in Mobile Legends it's now becoming hard, because there are a lot of heroes that are so complex in the current game. Now, even the new hero, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say the name, but the new hero is really, really.
You can. It's released already.
Okay, Yuzong. Okay, Yuzong is really, really like the direction of Moonson. That they're adding more complex. And as the season progresses, season 6 and season 7, I want to see newer faces. I want to see newer heroes. I'm done with the Grok. For God's sake, Gushin has died out. Harris has died out. We don't know. Come back. But I really like the direction. Old heroes might be resurrected. The thing is, you have to introduce new heroes, and it makes the game more active. Again, we're here on a more nostalgic feel, and this time around, I want to see older heroes. That's why I want to see the Hayabusa, the Saber, the Fannies. I want to see those heroes that never popped up in the competitive scene, with the sole exception of season 1.
With the sole exception of season 1, Zilong's. Unfortunately, the rework Yi and Shin is not going to be available for these guys, and it's a fresh rework. And I'm kind of curious to see how that's going to be playing into this come next week, I believe. But Who else is the Alphas and the Sabers? I want to see an Alpha versus Saber fight. Lapu Lapu as well. I mean, Lapu Lapu at one point was viable. At one point.
That was season 4, and season 3, season they were the ones to use it. I think that was on Kilo.
Yeah, I think Kilowash is the only person who actually used that. But to be fair, he did use it so efficiently, right? He used it so efficiently. The problem is there's just so many people that can shut down the Lapu Lapu way back then that were super viable. Very difficult for Lapu Lapu to catch Harif, who was blocked a lot in those seasons, right? Right now, no Harif available. People don't really care for Harif anymore. So maybe it gives us a little opening for some of these heroes that, again, looked promising before, but might be, were not used, but might be something worth looking at now with the all pick and ban phase, the global ban. I really have to come up with a name for this.
Global pick and ban. all around
pick and ban. There you go.
There's one thing that I noticed though. There was an international tournament that I was part of, and there are a couple of heroes there that are kind of starting to become meta now, especially Roger, who's highly being picked up by some of the Indonesian teams quite recently. I'm wondering if the Filipino champions that we have right now would actually start picking him up as well.
Yeah, I feel like that was a tournament like a week ago, right?
Yeah,
or a few days ago. That was I was super surprised, and those other regions they actually still pick Gatot Gacha. Still, I mean, you never hear that name anymore here in our region, but who knows? Maybe some of our teams have already studied them.
Yeah, the rework, right?
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of reworks have been. Oh wait, that was included in the rework, right?
Yeah.
So we might not be able to see that. Yeah, so we might be able to see that. Who knows? And again, those are the things that we are very, very excited to look out for. So it's going to be a bit difficult to predict who's going to be winning again with Season 2 and Season 3 champions. Since it's been a long time since we've actually seen these guys play. But if you can predict properly, you will have a chance to get some prizes. Because if you get perfect predictions, participate, audience, by the way. Anyway, let's go into the draft. I'll explain that later. We are in Season 2 to Season 3 pick, all-round ban and pick phase. So as I was saying, if you guys can predict properly the winners of this tournament, of these matchups, you'll get a chance to win some prizes. Elite skins are going to be up for grabs, and we will be choosing 5 winners every week at random. So you better put your predictions on the comments as well, and who knows, you might be winning it out next. And ladies and gents, here we go on the draft. So a lot of really I would say a little meta draft coming in here from Season 2 and Season 3 champions. I would say a bit premature, to be honest, to ban out the Esmeralda. But what do you guys think?
Well, I personally think that Link should be auto banned on every single game. Whatever tournament they're playing on, because. But I understand the Kaja and Esmeralda ban Season 2 champions. They don't want to be too picked by Season 3 champion, because remember, the blue side has the first pick, the red side has 2. If you pick a very good hitter, like example, Popple and Koopa on the first for the Season 2 champions, Season 3 champions, they might get away with a Grok Kaja combination. Remember that it's the most bonkers back Season 2 and probably Season 3 as well.
Oh man, just seeing the videos, just throwback altogether. And yeah, the picks here, it's slowly looking like a meta comp here in game number 1. I don't know how they're going to be playing game number 2 after this. Thoms is a good pickup here as the meta game. What would happen here is that a Jawhead might be picked up as a good side laner, and a Uranus as well. But that might be D's Grok though. That might just be D's Grok.
I like this one. They snatched away the Selena and they picked up the Thams. Again, we're going with the Thams on Kilowash here for the Season 3 champions. Now the Grok is on the side of Season 2 champions, and this should be followed up with probably Mage. I don't really see Marksman being picked up here. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. They snatched away the Granger of Jeff. So I think that's understandable for the side of season 2 champions, and it's on the hands of you.
That's going to be very interesting to see. Again, you cannot discount the amount of carry power that Few will be able to dish out on the Granger. Because even though Few, as of recently in the MPL, has been on a more supportive role, they actually used Few before as one of their main carries. If you remember, Few, he also really liked to pick up heroes like the Kimmy. So absolutely proficient in managing marksmen in this lineup for sure.
And we're seeing the players here on their respective playing space. I don't know what are you gonna call that, but I really like seeing Jeff Cutie's face once again.
Yeah, it's been a while. Right.
It has been a crazy while. Gushin ban though, might be a good ban for the Gushin side lane, but I don't want to see that Gushin ban. Gushin is not a bannable hero for this composition, if I do say so myself.
I think it's out of respect for Desanya on the side of season 2. And Harriet is going to be banned out here on the blue side, and I think this is probably another marksman setup for season 2 champions. Oh, never mind. They go with the Hayabusa once again, and this is what I like. Again, having an all-around pick and ban system. They're gonna draft crazy heroes on this on the setup, and this one I understand. It's good against Popple and Koopa. You don't have the natural gap closing abilities on any marksman, like for example the carry. You can't get on top of the Popple and Koopa, but in terms of the assassins, they have the abilities to do so.
Your team is picking.
Oh, it's
really like this.
It's that Dysania Lunox, my guys.
Oh man, it's been a while here. Look at that.
My goodness.
I'm not sure about this Kagura pick. I would not lock it in. They would be lacking very hard on sustained DPS. Yeah. So
they need reach.
Yeah, they do. They really do. However, might be going a different direction. Hayabusa is going to be great against Popple and Koopa. I completely agree, especially against the Granger if they can find that opportunity. But at the same time, Koopa, might be diluting the damage of the Hayabusa, especially if that Popple and Koopa decides to go on the off lane. It might be a bit of a difficult laning phase for the Haya.
Yeah, so as we talked about before, these heroes are going to be played on game 1, but they're not going to be available anymore on the next few games. So these heroes we're not going to expect to be picked nor banned, and that is what's interesting for the specific match. And I really want to see season 3 champions prevail. I am on the side of Tham's Kilowatt if he is going to be the one to play that hero.
Absolutely. Let's go into a really, really quick predictions here from our casters. What do you guys think? Is it going to be an S3 champions for you, Midnight, since you seem to be very excited with their pick?
I'm going to go with season 3 champions. I think for the entire tournament, no matter who they are facing against, I am in love with this team. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up season 3 champions as the winner of game 1. Okay, game 1.
I'm going to go ahead and go for game 1 as well, because my logic behind that is that games 2 to 5 is where it matters the most, because game 1 is where we would typically see them pick their meta picks, and the composition of the season 3 champions are relatively much better than the season 2 champions.
Well, I gotta agree, that's gonna be a landslide here from the panelist desk. Season 3 champions looks like they have it in the bag here in this one. A lot of comfort picks, and these are what you kind of expect from these guys in terms of how they play. We're going to be heading into the matchup very, very shortly. Don't forget, show your predictions on the chat. We'll find out if that's going to be coming true here. And we will be heading into the game. So it's going to be casted, of course, by these fine gentlemen here. So make sure to also cheer them on the chat. Make sure to cheer on which team you want to win, not just predictions. And it's going to be a very fun day for champions here in MPL-PH Champion Invitational. Let's go, Midnight and Nomad.
All right, Nomad, we are already on the action here for both teams as we see a skirmish in the middle lane, and Selena gets the first blood on the Grok. That falls down, and Lusty with another jump. They're gonna get another kill here on Yaku. Season 3 champion starts the game with fire burning on the dance floor for them.
We are now 1 minute into the game, and already the Season 3 champions are showing how aggressive they want to be. Ooh, a different camera angle for the Invitational. Hold up there.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, I did not expect that level of production value to
Yeah.
suddenly jump, but hey, it's the Champions Invitational. We get to see the best production value. But yeah, the Season 3 champion composition here is really lean towards early team fights and steals on the buffs, and we did see a little bit of that happen thanks to Rio securing good abyssal arrows on to Tets and Yako in the early game during the top side.
I'm getting chills right now, Nomad. This is how they play for Season 3 champion. Overall aggression. And you see all their levels. I always talk about this. Oh, okay, hold that thought. The Selena falls down in the bottom lane. A little bit aggressive there on the Season 3 champions. But the thing about the squad on the red side is that this is how they play. I always talk about on the previous season that this squad really likes playing around the aggressive timing that they have. So with the Selena on their lineup, they have the kill threat on the side of the blue team. So they're not gonna stop unless they get shut down. Which, by the way, the Selena was shut down on the bottom lane, but they're not gonna stop whenever they are able to fight.
Yeah, and I'm not seeing the Season 2 champions being able to scale really well going into the late game, as that is the composition that the Season 3 champions have here, especially on to Jeff Cutie Forever, which can just delete anybody. After deleting anybody, he can just start split pushing. And who is going to be the clinch champion here for the clinch hero here for Season 2 champions? I'm feeling it's just going to be few, but at the same time, Granger, but at the same time, Granger relatively falls off in the late game. And as I say that, there goes the 3-man gank onto Tets. No matter which hero you get, you will get deleted by that much firepower.
Yeah, and remember Lusty being a Grok Lord, he knows that the nerf hurt the Grok so much, and he saw the positioning of Tets. He knew that there was no passive available for Tets at that moment, although down on the bottom lane, but there's a much aggressive play here in the middle lane for the Season 3 champions. They get to Lunox, oh my god, outside of the Orb of Brilliant, and Jeff Cutie Forever gets a kill on the top lane on the Sanya with the X-Borg.
Man, this is just the steamroll from the Season 3 champions here, able to secure the neutral objectives, so to speak. They're leaning towards taking the objective, the bottom lane turret. Tier 1 turret is going to fall down relatively quickly by the hands of Kilowatt, and I don't think there is going to be a rotation there. Meanwhile, on the top side, Jeff Cutie Forever is doing his work as well, just securing the crab and making sure that he's shoving out the lane so that the rest of Season 2 champs would be focusing their attention on them. There goes the last Insanity forced onto Daisenia, and this is going to be a free turret. This is how they secured the championship. They rotate all across the map and make sure that their aggression leads to objectives.
Yeah, you know what? There are 3 things that you have to consider when you're fighting against Season 3 champions. Number 1 is that they get level 4s all at the same time. Number 2 is that they play heavily aggressive on the earlier stages of the game, so you need to fight. If you're not able to fight, they're gonna scale better in the late game. And number 3 is that they are not gonna stop. Whatever happens in the game, they're not gonna farm. They are gonna play continuous objective, continuous aggression against you. You saw what the Season 3 champions was doing earlier. If Jeff Cutie Forever is not taking any pressure in the top lane, expect a lot of pressure on the opposite side of the map.
Yeah, and that is exactly what the Season 2 champions need to do. Especially D. D can pretty much melt turrets fast on that Popol and Koopa, but they're forced to go on to team fights. And speaking of team fights, a huge team fight is happening here on the bottom lane, and they already caught few. Then they get Tets. It's just gonna be Yako forced to use the ultimate to run away there. It's gonna get taken out by Kilowatt, and Kilowatt still showing that he is a god on that thumbs. Bottom lane turret is gonna go down as well. Top lane, Kilowatt actually in a bit of a scuffle there against Daisenia. Last Insanity being forced out, and he's just gonna be backing off.
Yeah, and this you just season 3 champions telling the previous winners that, hey, welcome to the new season.
Welcome to the new season, indeed. And I mean, let's just take this time and consider what else these guys can pick going into the next stage, into the next match. Because the opportunities of them to select meta champions are getting lower and lower.
Yeah, and you know what? Let's not take away the fact that season 2 champions can still fight their way back. They still have a Granger that, as you mentioned, can be the late game strength of season 2 champion squad. But remember, the Lunox will always be able to dish out some serious damage against the lineup of season 3. Because if you look at their lineup, there are 3 melee heroes on their side, and Lunox is a really good fighter or a mage damage dealer against melee heroes. So season 2 champions, being the Combat Kings, they still have the condition to take victory away from the season 3 champion.
And it all it takes is one good team fight from the season 2 champs, and their composition is very team fight heavy. No good sets, so to speak. They're going to be relying on D to catch either Rio or Jay, and then that's when the rest of the team comes in. Meanwhile, on the side of the season 3 champions, we got Lusty, and as I say that, Lusty dives in and almost takes down Few there thanks to the Feathered Airstrike, but Dysania dived in way too deep, gets taken out as well, and now Lusty is in a 1v2, making a 1v3 because of Koopa, and Lusty's low on HP, he will manage to survive there.
Oh my god, that was sexy from Lusty. The ultimate into the flicker, getting 2 heroes. Unfortunately, it was a Grok that he caught, but that was very sexy. It was able to stay alive for season 2 champions to actually get away and disengage without any casualty.
Now, mid lane turret is going to go down. This entire map is now in favor of the season 3 champions here. And season 2 champions, they cannot find an answer. They can't even secure a single turtle for themselves.
Yep, and this is the beauty of having a Hayabusa on your lineup against Popple and Koopa. Your main problem for your squad is your reach. But if you have a Farsa and if you have a Hayabusa, suddenly the heroes of the blue team is afraid to fight against you, and it allows Lusty to set up beautiful Tyrant Rages. And look at how season 2 champions are positioned. They're really scared of the Kufra and the Hayabusa.
Very scared. I mean, see, one.
My goodness.
The lead. My goodness. But yeah, one shadow kill from Hayabusa will be more than enough to bring down HPs to half on the side of the season 2 champions. What more if he catches one off guard, right? All the 5 attacks.
Off guard, my goodness. The Lunox is a safe target because of the Order of Brilliance. But if it catches Few, right? If it catches Few without the Wind of Nature, which is a long stretch away from the item, Few might be deleted easily by Death Kitty Forever.
Quite easily there. This is the season 2 champions just trying to buy time for Few to go all night. He only has a Blade of Despair, and that is not enough. And just like what you said, as long as he gets the Windfalker, everything should relatively be good for Few going into the later stages of the game.
Yeah, there's an 8,000 gold lead for the season 3 champions. And season 2 champs, they might be the comeback kings, but there are certain times where you can't definitely come back from specific scenarios, and I think this is one of them. Even if Few becomes online here, the main problem is that the reach. There's a Farsa and a Hayabusa on the side of the season 3 champs, and take note, there's also Selena on their side. The arrow, it's very scary to play against that. Your positioning should always be perfect, and you have to worry about your combos as well.
Yeah, you gotta try to play it safe. And the reason why the season 2 champions cannot come back here is because, yeah, they're a teamfight centric team, but they're always playing so reactive to what the season 3 champions are doing. And as I say that, there goes the rage into a bouncing ball, the revenge into a bouncing ball. Not really amounting to anything there just yet. Dysania tries to dive into the backline. No Firago armors available. Not going to be forced to use the last Insanity just yet. It's really just space being created for Jeff Cutie Forever to secure this Lord for themselves and apply a lot more pressure in the map
Yeah, by the way, once again, the camera work. Props to the production crew that went ham and serious on the production of this event. And right now we're gonna see another skirmish on the bottom lane. Look at the damage that comes out from Jay. Mind you, this is a support Farza, and it was able to take half HP away from the Grok.
I think he's way behind the fact that he's a support Farsa. He is now slowly becoming a core Farsa for that.
And he is going straight for, I think this might be a Holy Crystal, if I'm not mistaken, or another item. But the thing is, the damage, it's there. It's there for the Season 3 champs.
Now, how do you think does the Season 2 champion bounce back from this? Because do we have a time limit here before Few goes online? Because I don't think he's still going to be a factor in the late game.
I think the biggest spike that Season 2 champs will ever get is the whiff nature on Few. Other than that, there's also the scaling potential for the Season 3 champs. Mind you, the Hayabusa will be stronger as the game goes later.
Oh man, it's going to be a big team fight. Will we have a later game than usual? I don't think so, because the Lord is knocking onto the doors here of the Season 2 champions. They're going to try to evade this nice flicker for raid in the backlines. Lusty being a god of that Kufra, finally securing the first kill in a while. That's going to be tense indeed going down. Desaigne is going to be forced to back off here. Kilowatt overstaying is welcome here. That's the Season 2 champions, evening it out, even winning out that fight 3-4, but I don't think it's still going to be a win, because that is going to be the bottom lane turret going down. It's just going to be Day left alive as well.
Yeah. And you know what? Season 3 champions, they said, screw it, we're gonna dive. That was a very beautiful ultimate from Lusty once again with another flicker and ultimate flicker combination. Even though Jeff Kitty misplayed a little, he was positioned not very well. And the Granger was able to take him down with one Rhapsody from the Granger. So the damage output is there for the Season 2 champs, but you have to worry about the next engagements that you take against Season 3 champs. That was a very how do you say this? That was a very uncoordinated team fight from the Season 3 champs, and the next one might be the last bullet that you're gonna take.
Yeah, they need to make sure they play well, and there is a huge rotation here from the Season 2 champions over the top lane, just to try to secure the purple buff for Lunox, for Yako. They're gonna still be pressured here because the Season 3 champions, the entire map is almost red here. All the lanes are in their favor. They're just waiting for, I think they are just waiting for the Luminous Lord to start spawning in. Arrows are still coming in from Rio left and right.
I think he has missed only, okay, there's another one. I think he's only missed like 4 times total in this game.
At least the 4 times that we saw it miss. But, you know, Rio is still a huge factor here in the game. If he can connect the Abyssal Arrow onto Yako at the very least, forcing the Order of Brilliance or just catching him entirely, that's a huge sign for the Season 3 champions to dive in and just eliminate the rest of the team, because for now, as it stands, Yako is a primary damage dealer here for them.
Yeah, even just the purifies. If it's exhausted on the side of Season 2 champ, Lusty might have the perfect opportunity to jump in and wreck the base of the Season 2 champion. So again, they're just waiting for the perfect opportunity here on the side of the red team. But Season 2 champs, they are scaling. So it's a problem that Season 3 champs might have to worry about. Oh my god, yeah!
Core 1/8 of his entire HP pool is left after 2 hits from that feathered airstrike.
My this Farza, even though he is a support, he will scale way better than the lineup of Season 2 champs, because the problem that you're gonna face is once again the reach against the Farza. They have no concrete way of reaching the Farza on the back line. Added to the fact that there's a Kufra in the front. Okay, never mind. They catch him off guard as Season 3 champs was actually taking the Lord, but Kilowatt is taking so much damage from the Granger now. Are they going to be able to take the objectives that they want? No. Season 2 champions punish the positioning of the Season 3 champions. They wanted to take the Lord, but they were split apart. Jeff Kitty Forever was not able to take the objectives as soon as possible, and Season 2 champions, they're looking for more. Losty has been caught off guard here, and a Kufra might fall pick her way, and the Tyrant's Revenge is there, but the very beautiful ultimate from Desanya with the Lust Insanity. Oh, Rio, Jeff Kitty Forever actually wants to fight, but he is not allowed to do so, as there is a Poppin' Koopa that is going to be able to stop him. And Season 2 champions, the Comeback Kings, are able to take the objectives away from Season 3 champions as they take the Lord down.
And that is actually a relatively good trade, all things considered. If Jeff Cutie Forever managed to fight, oh man, the Detonata connected, forced to use a shadow kill, and it won't be enough. I was just about to say that was a good trade, all things considered. Managed to take down the final turret in the top lane for a Lord. Yeah. The Season 3 champions can defend the Lord push. No worries. But the clincher there was that Jeff Cutie Forever had to survive, and he did not survive that. Beautiful prediction on the Death Sonata there by Few.
Yeah, and this is the problem that you face against Signal Ultra. You can't put analysis here. They're just comeback kings. They don't care what's the situation in the game, although the Farsa is dealing so much damage. But Season 2 champions, they are pushing the base of the Season 3 champs. Lusty going in, but where's the damage? There's no damage output. The Farsa has the ultimate, and the Selena was not able to get any catch on the arrow. And the Granger is able to freely push the towers. Kilowatt taking the damage from the Rhapsody, and the catch is there from Popolo Kuba again. Farsa taking the Lunax down, shutting Season 2 champions push, but they're not done yet. Jeff Kitty Forever respawns, the arrow is gonna hit that, but the passive is there, but the Granger is still safe. So there's gonna be a second round for this push of Season 2 champions. They just need to reset.
That's also a minute 30 on the Purify there onto Yako. They managed to force out the Purify, and he died as well. Yeah. I think that's worth, but they need to, Season 3 champions, they need to start pushing up the lanes here in order for them to at least get a good grasp of the late game.
Yeah, this is the window that they're looking for. There's a Purify burn on the Lunox, so they can focus down the Granger, and you have to worry about the item progression of the Granger. The damage output, it's getting higher and higher by the minute. Although Jay is dealing a huge chunk of magic damage, they will have problems once the immortalities are out for the Season 2 champs. Remember, the second round of team fight, it's gonna favor Season 2 champions because they have the natural ability to fight team fights on a longer scale.
Oh, forced to use the arrival onto the mid lane too. Yeah, that's Lusty in a 1v2 with D, and Daysanian doesn't want to go for that. Top lane though, there is going to be a chase there by Jeff Cutie Forever onto Tets. And he is just shoving his lane. He's doing his job. Doing the hard work happened there.
What's the ultimate? Oh my god. Okay, he burned the ultimate on the Xborg before. So the opportunity was there to take down the Granger. Unfortunately, he didn't have the ultimate. Surprisingly, you went with a Malefic Roar rather than the Wind of Nature. So that is gonna be a problem if the opportunity once arises for Jeff Kitty Forever. I mean, there's no Wind of Nature in Few. So Few does have a problem facing the Hayabusa 1v1.
But will the Season 2 champions let that happen though? That's the question. They need, as I'm seeing here, the Season 2 champions are creating space for Few to start farming up. And every time that somebody attempts to go towards Few, the rotation from Tats comes in as well as they say to try to protect him.
Yeah, but the problem with that is that if they group up around the Granger, they're gonna feel the wrath of the Farsa.
That's true. Then the Farsa is no joke here. And can easily be a catch here by D if he gets his positioning right. And that Lusty going in for the revenge relatively early. I think that was a check onto the brush on its own.
You know, the funny thing about the lineup of Season 3 champs is that they're really good at sniping heroes from far away. But Season 2